Hello, TheLadyKeziah here. Are you a young woman preparing for marriage? Pay attention. I'm here because of you. Do you know the difference between a man that is your kind and the one that is your type? Are you able to identify the one that is both your kind and your type too? Deep, right? Yes. I want to provoke you into thinking. I want to help you preempt and prevent a lot of mistakes that many people have made, and yet they won't have the courage to open up and share these things with you, so you'll be able to rewrite your story. Can you distinguish among the one that is good enough for you, the one that is better for you, and the one that is right for you? Will you be able to do this? Many a time, I know millennials have a way of pivoting away from what past generation considered as typical line markers of life. I know you have a way of mixing up things so beautifully in your context, but please pay attention to these things I'm going to share with you. Many a time you fall in love with a person's potential. You see him in public, acting, behaving a particular way. He holds a certain title. He works at a certain place. He comes with a certain potential in your dreams. And you fall in love with that potential without you focusing on his reality. The potential might just be in your dreams because the potential might not be self-actualized. What might be self-actualization to you might mean nothing to this man. And many a time the potential is only in your dreams. It's not even something you can consider, have a conversation around with him. You only see him into that future. It's a potential. But that potential can be realized or it can not materialized. So if all you do is to focus on the potential and love him and say, yes, I do to the potential, without critically assessing his reality, your life will really be in danger. Because at the end of the day, after we've come and dined with you, celebrated you, congratulated you, and we are gone, that is when your marriage will begin. And all you would have is his reality, not his potential. So if the reality is not something you can deal with, then think and think again. Think and think again as a young lady who is ready to get married. And by the way, when you say you are ready to get married, what do you mean? Do you want me to shock you again? Yeah. Being a wife comes with great responsibilities. Great responsibilities that many of us couldn't get mothers and aunties and grandmothers to educate us on this. As long as you're of a certain age, you can work and earn money. They think you are ready to be a wife. You aren't ready because of these things. Being somebody, a man's wife, means you have something you are going to contribute into that person's life. Unfortunately, what we see happen in this generation is a lot of people paying attention to the container, which is just the body, without focusing on the content that is in the container. It's beautiful. It's awesome to have a great body. I believe in being attractive, being presentable, all the adjectives that comes with it. As a woman, if you can't be attractive, then who are you? But my focus is my beliefs, my mindsets, my paradigms, because these three will shape the perspectives to life that I have as a woman. So if all you're thinking about is your body, how good, how awesome your body looks, then you are missing a lot. And I don't think you are ready for what marriage comes with. consider the content of the body that you hold. The body is just a container. The body can change anytime. When you go through first pregnancy, second pregnancy, then you really know who you are as a woman. And now there are lots of enhancements out there, which means your body can change any day, anytime. But who you are is beyond that body, because the body is just a container. It is the content. When you open your mouth to speak, it is the content that is exhibited. So people will see you and be attracted to you. But because of these three, your beliefs, your paradigms, and your perception, your mindset, the mind you set for yourself, because of these, regardless of the awesome body you hold, you see all your attraction won't go, it can't carry you anywhere. So whilst you're thinking of having a beautiful body, that wherever you go, people give you a standing ovation because of the body you carry, understand that the body is just a container. The content in the container is really, really critical, and you can't take that for granted at all. So build who you are, develop who you are as a woman. And if you just want to get married so that a man will take care of you, I'm here to shock you. If that is your intention of getting married, then you need another source of income. That is if you have one already. If you don't have one at all, then it means you have to quickly, as soon as possible, get a source of income. It is not a husband you need money. You need work that will bring you money. So consider the man's reality. It is very, very important. A lot of people have traded their life, messed up their life, just because the potential they thought anticipated never came into materialization. That potential was only in their dream, their expectation of who the man would become. It meant nothing to that man. Find a man who has identified his work. This might sound confusing, but it's not. It is not. And these are the works that the mothers are supposed to be doing. Instead of just opening the daughter's eyes to look for men who can take care of them financially, men who are already well established, they are supposed to enlighten these millennials such that they'll be able to identify a man who has found his work. And that work is not his job. About 90% of men have jobs. I'm not talking about a job. You can't will your job to your children. It doesn't belong to you. Your work is your purpose, your mission, your vision. Why you are here, your assignment on earth. It is so awesome to marry a man that's identified his work, because it creates room for you to also develop along him in his work. If not, you just be his wife. And all that you do is to produce children, is to manage his home, cook for him, wash for him, clean his house. Anytime he wants sex, you're available. Become like a house manager. Build businesses with him, and that ends up there. Every other person can also occupy those places in the man's life. The difference that the wife was supposed to have brought into this man's life was to become that space in between where he is now and where he's going in terms of being a help with your ideas. Because this man will create room for you in his work. That is his assignment. And you find a version of yourself emerging in the space that this man creates for you out of his work. So don't just be in a hurry to be somebody else's wife. Get a life for yourself as a young woman. Get a life. Live your authentic self. Don't let society and religion put you into marriage. Be yourself. Live your life. Enjoy being single until such a time that a man will come your way, that you'll be able to know that, yes, this is a man who has already identified his assignments in this life. That should I be his wife, he will give me space in this work. Because it is because of the work, that's why he needs a wife. He can hire a manager to take care of his home. He can cook. He can tidy his own house. The reason why he needs a wife is for you to help him in his work, his assignments in this life. But if he doesn't even know where he's going with his life, what role will you play? So there are lots of women out there, wise, with so much wisdom, and yet they are of no use to their husbands. Because these men, even up to now, haven't been able to identify their work, their assignment, their purpose in this life yet. So all these women could do was to be mother of their children, have sex with him, have fun with him, get money, and that is it. The purpose of being married, the purpose of marriage is higher than just being bearing a man's children and being his house manager. There is a purpose to marriage that is higher than these things. But nobody taught a lot of things. A lot of things we didn't know. So now that you know, I know you have a way of mixing up things because you're a millennial. Many of the things that the past generation saw it as typical when it comes to life markers, you don't care about those things. But all those things have a way of coming back to you later in life. So if I were you, I'll pay attention to it today. And in case nobody has told you yet, if some of us knew what we know today, would have done life differently. So when you hear these things, I am not advising you. I know you know what you do. I'm only telling you that pay attention to these things and critically consider them. Critically consider them. It's not just enough to be a wife. You already have the covering of God Almighty. You have the covering of your father. You have a surname. So if all marriage will bring you is a change of name, you have lost it. You are Mrs. and so what? Who cares? Mrs. what? Mrs. what? So if you are ready to be a wife, consider these things. And don't just waste your life in the name of marriage and being a wife like many women have done. When all said and done, and you look back at age 80 and 90, what would make you proud of being a wife? Those are the conversations you are supposed to have today. With all your wisdom, with all your capabilities, and with all your abilities, if the man won't create space in his life for you to develop and deploy that, what use will you be to him? And that will be frustrating to you too, because you know there is so much in you, and yet you can't utilize those things because he doesn't even know where he's going with his life for you to support him and be of that assistance that you are supposed to be. You are complete and whole in yourself. Don't let society and religion deceive you. When the time comes that the person who is, you know the types I gave you, who is your type and your kind, comes your way, even your soul will bear witness that you are ready to be a wife. Until then, find your life, girl, and live your life. Live your life as a single woman and enjoy every good thing that this universe would bring your way as a single woman until you become somebody else's, a man's wife. Think about these things and let me hear from you. Much love and blessings, my dear one.